Well, what's going on, BBRae shippers? Okay, as you know, the episode BBRae, the two-parter, just premiered a few days ago on Monday, and a lot of people in my group, and including myself, have wanted me to make a reaction video about it. And I guess for anybody on YouTube out there that doesn't know what group I'm talking about Beast Boy and Raven, BBRae, the best thing about Teen Titans Go. I didn't pick the group name, nor am I ashamed of the name or anything. I just want people to know that's the name of the title. Like I said, I personally didn't pick it. I don't have a problem with it, but that is the name of the title. If you want to go to it, it's right there on Facebook. We got a lot of good members out there, and we actually have people that actually do like the Teen Titans Go show. I'm one of them. Honestly, I'm that rarity that actually prefers Teen Titans Go over the original 2003-2006 Teen Titans series, and I'm 23 years old, so doing the math, I was 9 to 12 years old when that series came out, and here I am now 19 to 23 years old with the series going, and I like this one a lot more, and it's not really so much the fact that it does have BB and Ray in it, because honestly that was the main reason, and sometimes the only reason I saw the original series. This one, granted that's an added bonus definitely, but mainly the thing that got me into this series is just the comedy and just random for random's sake, and just basically the writers and the creators just not really just wanting to make people laugh, willing to troll people if they have to, and being a huge, phenomenal success from it, being one of, if not the #1 Cartoon Network show right now, and that's with all the backlash and retaliation they received early on into when the series was just trying to start, even when people didn't even give the show a chance or see it, and next thing you know, like years later, it's one of the most recommended shows out there, and even this time last year, January 2016, it was actually one of the top 3 most watched shows for DVR recordings during the Jonas Winter Storm last year. So that just shows you how far this series has gone. That's kind of my take on the series. Now that I've spoken about that for almost 2 minutes now, let's get back to the actual reason I'm making this video, and that is for the two-parter, the one that most of us have been waiting for, BBRae. Part 1 obviously is Beast Boy writing the song. Like the entire 10-minute episode is him finding the lyrics to write the song to tell Raven how much he loves her and how much he's in love with her. That's basically set throughout the entire 10-minute episode, so there's really no denying at this point that these are the feelings that Beast Boy has for Raven. And that he's obviously well over Tara. He even sung Fade Away a little bit in this episode, and it wasn't really for Tara at all, but it was just mentioned that he can't really sing this song to Raven because it wasn't really meant for her in the beginning, so he needs to find a whole new song for her. And just the way they made it to how he discovered the lyrics, and just how he wrote this for her, his love poem attempt, his flowers and bees attempt, the cub bear attempt. Like I said, this whole 10-minute episode was just really about him showing how much he loved Raven. And it finally ended with a great high note where they were finally together, and they decided to, they finally were a couple. She obviously had no problem with him calling her mama, which she's never had in the entire history of the show. And she obviously had no problem with him wrapping his arm around her, just being all lovey-dovey to her, which, if you watched the series recently, basically near the end of season 3 all the way to season 4, you can see that hasn't really been a problem for Raven. She's been a little more adjusted to it. The point that she says that after long last, it's finally perfect. We're finally together and all that. I don't want anything to ruin this. And I could kind of understand, I understand a lot of fans' disapproval of this, but I could actually kind of understand Beast Boy's reason of why he wanted to express this love to her, regardless of the fact that it was meant for her and her alone, and that was the original intention for the song. But you can obviously, eventually she came to she eventually came to like the idea, but it was the fact that he just became so obsessed with the tour and almost forgot what the whole reason was in the beginning, that's what kind of caused her to, I guess, get overly jealous, which we've seen she has the ability to do in the past. And that's basically part two. It's just him being on tour. Him even saying that he wants her with her. Like, he didn't leave her for the song and for the tour. He wanted her to be by his side. And we could obviously see that Raven clearly loves Beast Boy, or is in love with Beast Boy as well. One thing I like to touch on is that back in the episode Think About Your Future, which premiered like around 8 months ago, we saw that all Elder Beast Boy had to say was "at my house," and Raven just got really, really excited about that. Like, her eyes widened, there was glistening in her eyes, her cheeks blushed, her smile was bearing. She got to the point where she had to touch her face. If that doesn't tell you right then and there that she constantly thinks about Beast Boy and her being an item together in the future to the point of even being married, or the fact that in the episodes History Lesson, Group's Fairy Tales, and now even Movie Night, all three of those stories feature both her and Beast Boy as significant roles, and to the point that those two are easily the main characters in her stories. And the fact that she's usually the first one to say, to say the story out of the 5 story episodes, and this is easily the first thing to come to mind, all that, it should basically tell you right then and there that she is in fact madly in love with Beast Boy. And obviously with this episode, he is in fact madly in love with her. Obviously the cat was way out of the bag after this episode, so we know for a fact these two are madly in love with each other. They now know they're madly in love with each other. The Titans now know they're madly in love with each other. The whole world basically does, or at least the whole country does at this point. And both in the series itself and in real life now, everybody should know that they are madly in love with each other. And I'm so glad I'm going on Wikipedia pages and even my own group, not my group page, but the group page I'm in. I'm so glad I'm seeing nothing but positive reaction. Granted, the ending, which everybody kind of saw this coming, was a little bit so what does this mean for them now? He's in the doghouse literally. Does this mean they're over with? What's going on? Was it just these 2 episodes that these characters were together and that's it? What's going on? And luckily there's people out there that remember and are acknowledging those people that are that curious. They're just reminding them, Tara Strong and Greg Sipes, the voices of Beast Boy and Raven, said openly before season 4 premiered that the entire season is filled with BB&Rae moments. It got to the point that Greg Sipes, if you listen to him, says that there's BB&Rae in almost every episode, and it almost sounds like immediately after that he kind of corrects himself and says that there is BB&Rae in every episode. And this is only episode 12 and 13 out of 52. So if you do the math, this is only the first 25% of this 52 episode season that's supposed to be filled with BB&Rae. And I don't think it's really coincidence at all that the writers, channeled this in with Valentine's Day, or that they made it, they made part 2 basically be, the first 25% out of the 100%. So there's now 39 episodes, 79% of a whole 75% of the whole season left now. And again, we were told from the get-go that it's filled with BB&Rae moments. I mean, we've seen Raven get jealous over Beast Boy taking out a guard. We've seen the two just act all, I guess, comical when they were eating candy corn, something that Raven usually wouldn't have done in the beginning of the series. We've seen her ask him out, or try to ask him out on a date on his birthday, and a year ago before that, she forgot his birthday, and there's no denying that the whole second half of the Beast Boy birthday episode that premiered last season was pretty much Raven making up for the fact that she forgot it was his birthday. She was basically kind of demanding the Titans to act properly, at least smile awkwardly if you're not going to say anything, if you're just going to complain. And she even got to the point where she even like put her arm on his shoulder, which she didn't have to do, and just flat out say that she's sorry that she forgot his birthday. And then again, a year later, this season, she's asking him out on a movie date, or she's at least trying to ask him out on a movie date. Again, going back to movie night, her just being more confused about Starfire after kissing Beast Boy, being confused with the flirting instead of just offended. And again, that's something that earlier seasons Ravens wouldn't have done. So you can definitely see without this whole series leading up to this point that these two characters, you know, Beast Boy's made it obviously a little more obvious, which is why I haven't really touched on him, even though he's clearly my favorite Titan and superhero out there. But he's just made it way more obvious, whereas Raven, she's the mysterious type, and so you almost have to kind of inspect her and see what she's doing, because Beast Boy he tells it like it is, and he's the same way with the romance. But obviously I liked the episode. I thought it was a great episode. I thought it was well worth the wait. I thought it was definitely worth the pain and agony of holding my phone up to the TV to record the episode for a solid 20 minutes, even when I couldn't skip through the commercials. I thought it was a great episode, and also again I kind of went off topic here a little bit, but people were just wondering, like, so what does this two-parter ending mean? Like, does this mean they're no longer together anymore, or does this mean they're taking hiatus? Notice all Raven said was that he was in the doghouse, and notice again, like, as he's riding on the horse, going to her, telling her, you know, basically telling the whole world not to fiddle with things, something that she told him all the way back at the end of part 1. You know, seeing her get teary-eyed and just so happy to see him, that should tell you that she's still madly in love with him, that even though she was mad at him, there was a part of her that did understand, and there was a part, you know, there's obviously a part of her that was glad that he came back and glad that he learned his lesson and glad that he fixed the curse, and not based on magic, but just based on doing the right thing. Her words, not mine. So you can clearly see that the love is still there between the two of them. And at no point does she say that we're through, by the way, we're broken up. All she says is, oh, you're still in the doghouse, buddy. That's all she says. You know, it doesn't really, you know, and how many times have we seen on TV, movies, or even in real life for that matter, you know, people in relationships, one of them just says to take a break. They're not really broken up or anything. There's just a period where, you know, it's almost like a silent treatment for the relationship itself, but at no means is it a breakup or a hiatus or anything. It's just you need to take some time to learn your lesson, and once you do your learning lesson, we'll go out again, but we're not broken up. We're still together. It was kind of like in a good example I could bring up off the top of my head is The Big Bang Theory, like I think in season 4, where Leonard accidentally said, I love you, during coitus, and the whole episode was just Penny getting a little offended and almost wanted to break up with him, and it ends with her kissing him, saying that they're still together, but they're going to take, even though they're still together, they're just going to take a little break from the relationship for a while until Leonard learns how to not come out and say stuff like that in the middle of coitus. I feel like if this whole, you know, two-parter with him going on tour, him learning his lesson, and her saying that he's still in the doghouse is no different from that. It doesn't mean they're not together anymore, because Raven's the kind of person that obviously tells it like it is, and she would have easily told him that they're through, and she didn't. And the last line you hear in the two-parter is, the drama continues. It doesn't mean it's like, oh, well, we'll have to wait until we find out what's going on, again, leading up to the... Well, hold on. But basically, the drama continues means that the relationship is still there. You know, it didn't mean like, so what does this mean for us or anything like that. Like, it wasn't that. Like, out of all the things they could have ended that episode with, like oh, Beast Boy's in trouble, or Beast Boy blew it, it was like, oh, the drama continues, which means that, again, with this being a season full of BB and Ray moments, with this only being episode 13 out of 52, with this only being a quarter of the way through the season and still having 3/4 of the season left. Again, of a full season said to have Beast Boy and Ray in almost, if not every episode. This just tells you that we're definitely going to be seeing some moments here and there, like blink if you miss it moments that we have been seeing for a while now. And that it might be a couple of episodes or maybe no episodes at all, but they're still together. Like, all that tells me that they are still in fact together, that again, the writers and creators of the show like basically planned the fact that it was going to be around the Valentine's Day and around a good milestone mark for the season. I think, again, 13 out of 52 is a great milestone mark for that. So I think this all is planned out. And for the creators and writers to allow Greg and Tara to say that the whole season's full of BBRae and then have this happen is just obviously like seeing how loyal the fans really are and just seeing how much they pay attention to this show. Like, if there's one thing they've made clear, especially with the Wally T episode last year, is that they are for the fans. Like, everything they do is for the fans. And, you know, earlier on in this series, back in season 1 and even part of season 2, you would go on the Wikipedia page or just on forums or stuff like that, and you would see people just getting a little annoyed that Beast Boy and Raven was just, I guess, lack of a better term, ran through the ground through the series. Now you have an episode straight up called BB&Rae, and you go on that same Wikipedia and that same forum, and you see nothing but positivity for it. You see nothing but people encouraging it. So you can definitely tell that Beast Boy and Raven and their relationship has definitely been something for the fans this whole time, to the point that even the fans, even the ones that are probably annoyed with it at first, are like all in all for it now. Like, at this point, it's almost as if Rob, and I'm not saying I'm not a Rob Star fan or anything like that, I am, and you know, I'm aware of what's going on in the comic books as well, and in the series, and I'm aware that they're trying to give Beast Boy the Beast Boy and Raven the spotlight, like they gave Robin and Starfire the spotlight in the main series, not the main series, but the original series, and you know, they even they even joked about Rob Star a little bit in this two-parter episode. What I can say to that, to anybody that doesn't read the comic books, there was, even before the New 52, Starfire, or Robin, or Nightwing at that point, was willing to ask Starfire if she wanted to marry him, which is at least for the second time, because they almost got married in the early 90s. And she immediately follows up with the question, are you in love with me, or do you love me? And he immediately follows up with the answer, no. So, if anything, I kind of see Teen Titans Go as parodying that, because at that point it basically became a one-sided Starfire relationship in the comics, and now in this series you see that it's basically a one-sided relationship for Robin in the TV series. So, if any, and that's another thing, like, you can definitely tell that these, the people behind the show aren't just out there to make comedy for comedy's sake. They're actually paying tribute to the entire DC multiverse, all medias. Like, you know, in almost every episode now you'll see vast trivia from references from either DC movies or just DC comic books even, or just just events that happen within the DC multiverse. So this is definitely a series that pays homage, and I know I've been keep going back and forth with this, but I guess to try to make this a 20-minute video as much as possible. I loved the episode. I thought it was a great one. I think this is, you know, it's the same thought I had from before the episode premiered, that this is a turning point for the whole series. And now that this season, and maybe even the rest of the series, if it continues onwards, which I do hope it does, you know, on to season 5, 6, for however long they want to do this series, I definitely think this is the turning point for the series, for this relationship, and that this relationship is in fact still going. I feel like if it wasn't still going, it would have had an ending like Rocks and Water, or it would have had Raven flat out saying they're through, or one of the other Titans that were acting like us in the series to be like, well, what does this mean? Instead, it was like the drama continues, which further latched on that the relationship is still there. You know, Beast Boy is just literally in the timeout right now, but Raven obviously still loves him. He obviously still loves her. They both know that. The Titans know that. Again, the whole country knows that, both in the series and in real life. Like, flat out, the cat's out of the bag that these two characters are indeed in love with each other. They're well aware of it, and it's to the point that even Raven says that now that they're finally together, it's perfect. So with all that being said, I'm way more positive for the rest of the series, more now than ever. I hope this helps a lot of people out that was a little confused about the ending of the episode as well. I hope this kind of gives people a little more positive light to the series. If not, then, you know, to each their own. But I like the series. I love the episode. It's probably my new favorite episode now. I hope a lot of other fans did, which is based on what I'm seeing on the forums and the wikis that they do. So, you know, I definitely think the writers and creators did a great job to the point that people are even saying that it was worth the 1.5 year wait. So, you know, 3, if not 4 thumbs up this time. It was a great 2-parter. I'm looking forward to Permanent Record next week. Regardless if it has any indications of Beast Boy and Raven's relationship or not, or if it's kind of like opposites was to Be Mine and there's almost none whatsoever. But then again, Graham Sipes even went to the point of correcting himself, saying that there is in fact Beast Boy and Raven in almost, if not every episode. So I kind of feel positive about this one. But even if it doesn't, even if it's just something like Link If You Miss It, or just them being next to each other all the time, or one of them finishing the other one's sentences or something like that, which has also happened recently, then that's just as good for me. But yeah, bottom line, you know, good job, and I hope to see you all and the show very soon, and I hope all of you guys have a great day, and live long and love BBRae. Peace out.